Alrighty, so this is the new stream, so hopefully everything works.
Hopefully.
I'm also hoping that the quality is good enough because I am streaming on a very old TV because this is all I have. So please, someone, let us know. Okay, it's working this time.
It is. Well, who are we watching on board with? Well, I'm on board with H. McGuire right now. Purple first sector, so just heading through Woodcote and onto the National Pit Straight, and then heading towards Cups. Let's see what's gonna be. Down 2 gears, a little dab of the brake. Ooh, gets a little sideways and into the grass and invalidates. That's all I was going to invalidate, to be completely honest, because he was up on his time by quite a significant amount. But let's see who else is on the lap right now. T-Brum has just started, so we'll come back to him. Evil Dragon, purple in the first sector. So looks like track conditions are getting better. He's up by about 0.4 of a second. Still not good enough to put him on provisional pole position with 2 minutes left in the session. Harry Noir and Jimmy Matt both. Marcy is heading through Maggots and Beckett's right now, but he's not up on his time. Let's see through the middle sector split, however. And then we can get on board with someone else. Yeah, he's down, far down on his time. H. McGuire, of course, is invalidated. Jay Hinks also invalidated. So I guess we'll just ride on board with T-Brum because he seems to be the furthest person on a lap. The spray coming out of the back and under from the bottom of that Mercedes. Solo to the ground, down 1 gear, dab of the brake, hit the throttle, using all the track that he can through Cups. That was a beautiful line there from the Mercedes. Now in through Maggots, and now down 1 gear into Beckett's, down another gear, and then heading through this final right-hander, down to 5th gear just to get the rotation, and through Chapel, accelerate up to 6th, 7th, open up DRS if it were dry, which it isn't, and now he's looking to be into the 36s. Here is T-Brum, purple through the middle sector, down 2 more gears, down to 6 to keep the stability, all over the curb to get the rotation, and using all the track to carry the speed, and now into the club chicane, braking down to 3rd gear, get that rotation. You want to short shift 4th here to get a little bit of stability. 5th right now, he's just going to accelerate through 4th, has a little bit of a slide, loses time in the final sector, but it's a 37 flat, and I don't think anyone's really going to be coming close to that. Connor O'Keefe has backed off his lap. He was just heading through the final sector. There's a Ferrari heading to the line. That'll be Jess, who's just starting. There's a Mercedes, that's Jordan. So it's going to be a Red Bull of Energetics, possibly. Yep, Energetics. Not up in his time through the middle sector. Split was down by about 3.5 hundredths of a second. So he's going to need to find a lot of time if he wants to get anywhere near the top 3 or even the front row. He's going to have to find almost a second or more if he wants to get onto that front row of the grid and try and challenge T-Brum to the line. Energetics, he still has 1 more lap, but is unable to improve. H. McGuire has made a mistake at the final corner. Harry Noir, I believe, has invalidated, so he's going to be just able to cross the line to start another lap, and now everybody across the line is going to be their final run. Jamie Met is invalid. Esteban hits the pit lane. Serial Killer has finished. He was on an out lap, unable to make it. Marcy is just behind him. The second half of the Poldy Pole is currently 4th, up by half a second. Is he going to be able to put it on the front row? Yes, he does. He finds 0.9 of a second, but still half a second off of T-Brum for the time being. I believe Marcy was on a lap. Marcy goes 11th, unable to break the top 10 for the Alfa Romeo. There's going to be an Aston Martin of Old School who is not improving. Jess, let's see. Through the middle sector split, Jess Gamer up by 0.4 of a second, so that's good enough to get her up into the top 10, well into the top 10. And she needs to find a little bit more time if she wants to get into that top 8. As of right now, she'd be going P9 with the time that she's on for. But there's people behind her that could be improving. Actually, there's nobody behind her that's improving. So let's see what Justice Gamer is going to be able to do. T-Brum has retired as well. I believe that was in the pit lane. He's basically certain for pole position. Let's see it from Jess. Loses or gains a little bit of time in the final sector, but not quite enough to get past Harry Noir. Does a McLaren off in the grass at Club. Jordan, though, looking to find a little bit of time. I didn't quite catch the sector split, but heading through the final corner, Jordan goes from 10th. He's able to improve a half a second, puts himself up in front of Harry Noir, who is 8th. There's a Red Bull Energetics across the line, spins across the line, is unable to improve. Harry Noir is going to be the last one to cross the line on a flying lap. He was up by 6/10. What can he do with the final sector, though, and puts himself up in a 5th, and I think that's a pretty decent result there. T-Brum, Pole is on the front row, and Harry Noir, Energetics, the 2 Red Bulls, 5th and 6th. I think that is the best team performance from qualifying here.
Yeah, I think Energetics was about 4/10 up going through the second sector split, and obviously spun across the line and finished the 10th down. But it is T-Brum, the man who has been on a different level this season here in Division 4. Takes pole position. Poles, like you said, alongside on the front row. Then Evil Dragon, Connor O'Keefe make up the second row. Then Harry Noir, Energetics, Jamie Met, Esteban, Jordan, and Just Gamer make up the top 10. Then Serial Killer, Marcy, H. McGuire, J. Hinge, Old School, Ibo, Sarante, and Damon round out the 11th through 18th. And Sarante and Damon, the only guys not to set a lap. Damon, well, because he got disqualified.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying to see Damon disqualified because I think he could have been up at the front of the field like he has been, or like he was for the first few races of the season. Just mistakes creeping into his races. Right now, Damon is currently, if I can find his name, 16th in the championship with only 15 points to his name. 3 DNFs in Circuit of the Americas, Miami, and Monza, and then not scoring points in Singapore. So it was only 15 points coming from that podium he picked up in Imola. So he's been quick. It's just mistakes have creeped in, and he even made mistakes in Imola. But of course, Imola was being the chaos fest that it was, didn't really affect him too much. But now, heading into the race, we have a sunny Silverstone, and I think that's what we all were really hoping for. And 26 beautiful laps coming up.
Yeah, the British weather has decided to take a holiday, as they call it over there, and has left us with some nice weather and some nice sunny skies. So we'll get going here as the session gets underway. We'll take a look at the tire compounds that the drivers will be starting this Grand Prix on. There is the predicted race strategies provided by AWS. Switch the mediums and the hards around, and that's the other alternate strategy that we will see here today. And for the tire compounds, the top 3 on the mediums, Connor O'Keefe starting on the hards, and then Harry Noir, Energetics, Jamie Met on the mediums, Sebastian, I'll get that right at some point, is on the hards. Then Jordan Jess, Serial Killer on the mediums, Marcy, J. Hinge, Old School, 12th, 14th, and 15th respectively on the hards. H. McGuire and Sir Ivo will be on the softs. And then Sarante and Damon have chosen the medium compound of tires. An interesting choice. These softs, or the 2 softs in the back of the field. So they'll probably make up a couple positions at the start. But the softs, as I found, wear about 10% each lap. So usually start to see some worse tire performance at about 45%. Puncture range is at about 70. And my puncture actually happened at 75%. So these guys won't be able to take the tires too long, but we'll see how long they can take them and see if that strategy gets up a couple positions.
Yeah, I'm not exactly how sure we are about the soft compounded tires. Ibo, I mean, it's Ibo. He's the GOAT. You know, he's the GOAT, but, you know, like, I'm not sure how well those softs are going to work for him. H. McGuire in 13th being on the softs as well, just looking to make up some positions, really. I think that's all it's been. Probably made a few mistakes in qualifying and wants to be further up the field, but making the decision between the mediums and the hards, it's a difficult decision really because the mediums are so much quicker at the beginning of the race. If you can't get temperature into hards, you're basically screwed if people around you start on mediums, which most of the field have started on mediums. So Connor O'Keefe kind of left out a little bit here, really, as well as Esteban in P8. So they're gonna have to work really hard at the beginning of this race to make up positions or to even keep their positions because people from behind like Jordan JT and Jess and then Harry Noir Energetics, the two Red Bulls on the back of Connor O'Keefe, they're gonna be looking to make up positions early and get in front of the people that are already in front of them right now. So an interesting decision, but I think the medium hard strategy is just a little bit better.
Yeah, the hards obviously this season have been pretty difficult to heat up, as the 5 red lights are now heating up. Lights out, racing here in Silverstone. Pretty good start from T-Brum, but a really good start as well from Poldy Poles. Just about side by side. T-Brum edges ahead going into turn number 1. Harry Noir backs out almost 3 wide between the two Red Bulls and the McLaren. There's a AlphaTauri around, that's Jay Hinge around at turn number 1, but Poldy Poles, Evil Dragon now still side by side. T-Brum taking the lead of the race and going to try to pull away here. The two Red Bulls settle into 4th and 5th position. And at the back, still some positions being swapped around. But it seems to be a very clean start, other than the AlphaTauri of Jay Hinge going around.
Yeah, pretty clean start. We had a few people off. There was someone off right down at the back as Damon going really wide through Luffield. A massive snap of oversteer, getting into the entrance of that corner, and H. McGuire just being able to sneak his way back past after Damon passed him into Brooklands. Now H. McGuire looking around the outside of Marcy, and Marcy just backs off what's H. McGuire and David go. I think, I don't want to say that's a smart decision, but being on the hards, he did just lose himself quite a chunk of time and lost himself 2 positions there, but it's better than causing an incident and sending yourself all the way to the back as Damon has to cut across Chapel there. That will surely be a corner cutting warning for the McLaren driver, who's had a decent start. He's up to 11th from all the way at the back. H. McGuire up to 10th from 13th. Saronje, Jamie Met swapping position, so that's going to be napping up another position as Energetics making his way past Evil Dragon on those medium tires. And Connor O'Keefe, pretty impressive, only losing the 1 place and still has Harry Noir behind him.
Yeah, Connor O'Keefe seeming to get those hard compound tires heated up nicely, is able to stick within the DRS of Eagle Dragon. We got 1 more lap until DRS will be enabled, but that's the ideal thing for Connor O'Keefe, is just to stick within the DRS range as best as he can and let him take the mediums away, side by side at the back. Believe that might have been Serial Killer and Damon, even Sebastian or Jordan up ahead.
Here comes H. McGuire. And up at the front as well. Evil Dragon getting right back past Energetics on this lap. Ooh, contact between H. McGuire and Serial Killer. There we go. English works sometimes. H. McGuire getting up in front of the Haas after contact between those two. Damon making his way past the Haas as well, but they're still side by side as we head through Woodcut and on to the National Pit Straight. Esteban and Jordan still side by side up in front, and Damon is able to make his way around the outside of Serial Killer, but H. McGuire is a little bit wide. I think H. McGuire might just have front wing damage. He made a little bit of contact with the back of the Haas going into turn 3, and now Marcy is in front of the Haas as well, and as you can see, H. McGuire definitely has damage. Marcy definitely has damage now as well after hitting the back of the Alpine there. They're still getting close, almost banging the wheels. Driver's almost spinning around, and now here comes Serial Killer and Saronje looking for moves. H. McGuire on these soft tires, it really has not worked for him. It is something that's not worked as well. Holy Poles on the mediums, he's just had a spin as one of the Alpines is into the pit lane. I'm surprised Marcy isn't in because he visibly lost a chunk of his front wing coming off of Chapel, but only the 1 car into the pit lane. And now to mention, T-Brum is miles out in front. Evil Dragon and Energetics, as well as Connor O'Keefe trying to get involved. Nothing really going for them.
That seems the to just be holding back. That's the thing we've seen with T-Brum so far this season. He is going to stay ahead and he's going to pull out that gap. He did the exact same thing last weekend in Singapore, and it seems to be the same thing here in Silverstone. And now with DRS enabled on this lap, we'll have to wait until if Connor O'Keefe can get past the Serial Killer, gets past Marcy there towards the back. Marcy runs a little bit wide, cuts the corner. and gets a 3-second time. Track Adventure will stay here with Connor O'Keefe. We'll see if he can get past Energetics down the hangar straight, but Energetics still has the DRS up ahead to Evil Dragon. It seems like the DRS train is starting to form as Polypulse has gone around once more out of Chapel. As Cerrante gets past Serial Killer into Stowe, but Serial Killer had the train. A little bit deep, but he's going to hold the position as they run down to the start-finish line. Oh, his Serial Killer goes around. He's going to have to wait for a couple guys to pass before he can get back onto the track.
That's not good.
And he spins around again. That's tough.
Yeah, well, Two Hess is not having the greatest of days. Polypole is down to 15th. Serial Killer down to 17th. Marcy and Jamie Matt, Jamie Matt is looking for a little bit of action. Marcy's been dropping down the order, then picking up positions, and then dropping. Even rating is completely out of battery as Serial Killer retires on track. It's definitely him retiring on track there. The stewards may want to look into that one after or at the end of this race. But looking back up to the front, T-Brum leads by 4 seconds. Evil Dragon, after losing that big chunk in time at the beginning, has began to pull away from Energetics, almost breaking DRS on that lap, and hasn't lost too much time to T-Brum this lap either. Jay Hing's making his way past Just Gamers. Polypulse has crashed down at Cops. Is that going to be a safety car? And it's a full safety car. As T-Brum is already past the pit lane. Dragon Energetics in. That will be for Hards. Connor O'Keefe is forced to stay out really here. And I would imagine all the medium runners are going to be in. Esteban, Connor O'Keefe staying out. I'd imagine Marcy would stay out. No, Marcy's going to be into the pit lane. I mean, the Alpha Males are going to have to split strategy. Makes sense, doesn't it? But this also gives a break for Ibo and H. McGuire, who's down to the back now as well. But this really does not help T-Brum and Harry Noir, because both of them forced to stay out with their teammates pitting, as well as Damon, who, for whatever reason, did not pit under the safety car.
That's the unfortunate thing about having a teammate racing with you is whoever's ahead at the safety car, you both want to pit. The guy ahead is going to get the treatment. He's going to be able to pit without issue. The safety car has picked up the leaders, running down the old pit straight.
Damon just overtook Esteban. Well, tried anyways.
A for effort.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's an interesting decision from McLaren here, really. T-Brum stayed out, of course. He had no chance of making it into the pit lane. Connor O'Keefe stayed out because he's on the hard. Harry Noir, the Red Bulls split their strategy, which is understandable. So Energetics pitting because he was in front of the two Red Bulls. Harry Noir forced to stay out. Then Esteban stayed out because Hards. But then Damon stayed out, being on the mediums, and his teammate being on the hards, which means he would have to stay out. So I'm not entirely sure why Damon stayed out. Old School stays out. J-King stays out. And then we have our pitters, and I think Evil Dragon just spun or something because he was ghosted for whatever reason. But we have Evil Dragon 8th as... Ooh, we have people in the pit lane. Harry Noir, T-Brum, and... Wait, no. No, not T-Brum. Just Harry Noir and Connor O'Keefe. Which is interesting for Connor O'Keefe because he was in a... I mean, he wasn't in the greatest position ever, but it wasn't the worst. Pitting from the hards onto a set of mediums. Those mediums are not going to go anywhere near the end of this race. The most they'll go is probably, I want to say, lap 22, 23. Even then, that's maybe a little bit of a stretch. But, yeah, I'm not sure those mediums will have any chance of making it to the end, but people have began to catch up to the safety car. Evil Dragon, Energetics, and Jordan have all caught up now. We're just waiting for Saronjay down now.
I think H. McGuire is going to pit here, put on the hard to go to the end. He's going to get rid of his time penalty. So it was a very, very smart move there for H. McGuire. We should have one more lap under safety car. H. McGuire should be able to catch up on this lap. Should go back racing lap 7 to lap 8. And we will have X amount of laps remaining in this Grand Prix to go under the racing condition. I'm horrible at math, so don't ask me how many laps are going to be left once the safety car comes into the race. But the top 5 have all stayed out on their tires that they started this race on, so we're going to have to see, I guess you could say, how quickly the guys who did pit can get past them if there is that big of a difference in these tires already. And then even their strategies are going to be just a tad bit different than everybody else's. But I think when you start on the hards, I think the worst thing that can happen is a safety car coming out within the first 10 laps of the race. Because at that point, the hards can make it to the end for the medium runners that started on the medium. So it's one of those risk and rewards, high risk, high reward type of things with the new regulations of the tires. You don't have to start on the tires that you qualified on if you're inside the top 10. So that shuffle things around. But then you get this type of strategy thing that happens. And is it better than the old format? I don't know. I think it's just something these guys are going to have to get used to. But it seems like everybody's been handling it pretty well so far.
Yeah, doing pretty decent. We should get going on this lap. H. McGuire, I think, is going to catch up before the end of the middle sector here. So, T-Brum out in the lead. Just things to think for T-Brum. His mediums are going to start to go off in the next few laps. He has an obvious pace advantage, however, so I don't think he's going to be too worried about it, especially with Esteban behind him on 6-lap old front tires and Damon behind him on 6-lap old medium tires, or in front of now. Okay. That's a thing. Anyways, and then you have old school Jay Hings both on 6-lap old hard tires, and then you have the people behind them. I don't think these tires can get to the end of the race. That's just me. For Evil Dragon, Energetics, Jordan, Saron J, Herring Award, Jamie Met, Ibbo, Jess, H. McGuire. I don't think those tires can get to the end of the race. If they can, tell me I'm wrong. But I don't think they can get to the end of the race. So there might be one more pit stop for everybody on the grid. We'll just have to wait and see once we get to the end of this race. The safety car is going to be in on this lap, and T-Brum will take over the lead of the pack. Let's see if Damon tries to overtake him. He probably, well, I'd imagine, I hope he wouldn't, but he's getting very, very close to the back of that Mercedes.
I think Damon wants to race here. I don't think he's going to hold back. So we'll wait and see where T-Brum decides to go. The safety car is in the pit lane. The field is at the hands of CPI T-Brum, championship leader. And he goes through the Vale chicane and around the final corner. Comes the pack, a pretty big gap already, 6/10 between T-Brum and Damon. We'll see how much that can close up towards the back. Evil Dragon maybe trying to make a move around. J-Hinge went wide at turn 1. Maybe those hards just not up to temperature just enough. Energetics is going to get past as well. And side by side, Evil Dragon and Old School, but the big switch around as the Energetics gets a little bit loose coming out of the loop section, and Evil Dragon is going to get past Old School, but I don't think Old School is going to give up just about yet, and he does, a little bit wide for Evil Dragon. Wide entry going through Brooklands and now through Luffield. Sarance, Connor O'Keefe sticking his nose up in there. They're going to go side by side down the old pit straight down into the Cops corner. Connor O'Keefe is just going to edge ahead ever so slightly. Good battles there through the old pit straights. as we watch on the back of Jordan JT's car. It seems like the safety car restart might have been just about as clean as the actual start.
Yeah, just looking like that. Connor O'Keefe looking to make a move on Jordan here into Brooklands, and I think he's just going to get, Stowe, and I think he's just going to get that one done. A good move there from Connor O'Keefe. He's up to P8 on these medium tires. He's going to have a significant tire advantage as Saronjay and Jordan JT swapping positions. They're side by side as they go 2x2. Saronjay and Jordan, Marcy and Harry Noir just in the background there. The Alpine and the Mercedes going side by side into Abbey, both on the hard compound tires, just looking for temperature, looking for position as well, but they're losing even more time as Connor O'Keefe looking to make a move around the outside of Energetics up in front as the Alpine of Saronji will find his way in front of Jordan. Now NL Energetics going a little bit deep as they go through the lead. Connor O'Keefe through Aintree, getting very, very close to the back of Jay Hings, but not using any of his ERS is the McLaren. That's Jay Hings and NL Energetics making contact. Jay Hings just moving over to the right hand side of the circuit, and just like FM, Energetics goes off the track and stops right there and loses hella positions. He's down to 15th now, side by side with JB. He's gonna be down to 14th now at NL Energetics, and I think that's gonna be a steer report coming for Jay Hings there from NL Energetics. He's down. He's lost so many positions. He's going to have to work very hard to get all of those back. But up at the front, T-Brum, 1.6 seconds in front of Damon, who's 2.4 in front of Esteban. Of Marcy and Jordan JT going side by side. Marcy on the mediums, making up positions, looking to make moves, looking to use his ERS. He's almost used all of it. He's down to 16% as we head into Stowe, and he's made these moves count for the time being. Saronjay J. Hings still battling it out. Connor O'Keefe looking to break DRS from Jay Hings in the AlphaTauri behind him, but also make a move on Old School because he's losing time to Evil Dragon, Esteban, Damon, and T-Burn all in front as we have a spinner. That's H. McGuire once again in this race. And he's going to be down to the back and well behind the rest of the field.
H. McGuire went around, I believe it was Harry or Jordan. He's getting pinched on the inside of the sort of, I guess you could say, the exit of the Vale chicane going through Club Corner. Just got pinched. Nothing he could do. Jay Hinge, Old School, side by side. Old School goes wide. He's going to allow Sarante to get to the outside of him through Luffield and onto the old pit straight. And a beautiful double move, and now what's going to be a triple move here for the guys trying to overtake Old School. And it's going to happen, and Jordan trying to hold it around the outside. He runs wide, and Old School giving him a little nudge, saying, if you're going to overtake me off track, you're not going to overtake me at all. DRS has been enabled on this lap. Looks like the front, I'd say maybe 6 or 7 not being able to use the DRS at all. Sarante J. Hinge side by side through Stowe. Sarante sends it in deep, makes the corner his, and J. Hinge runs wide through Stowe. That's definitely got to be a warning there. And no overtakes through the Vale and Club section this time. Jordan might have something in turn 1, not really. Old School just using a little bit of ERS to stay ahead. Damon picks up a penalty for track extensions. Sarante's gone around. A mistake there from Saronji coming out of the loop and onto the Wellington straight. A pretty easy mistake to make, I'd say, but especially when you're in such an intense battle. Up at the front, looking 4 points, a good points position as well in this race. We're on lap 11 for the time being. T-Brum still leads Damon. Damon must have made a mistake on the last lap or on one of the previous lap because he's dropped a bunch of time to T-Brum. He's now 4 seconds behind, and Esteban has caught right up to the back of the McLaren. Evil Dragon only 1.1 seconds adrift now from those two. Connor O'Keefe 1.3 back as he's broken from Jay Hings, and now Jay Hings is going to have Marcy for company, who has Old School, Jordan, Harry Noir, Jamie Met all in tow as well. Energetics after
his incident. He's 2 seconds off the pack in front of him as Damon is into the pits, and Ibo has retired. Is it going to be a
That's another
VSC? It's a
safety
full
car.
safety car. So that kind of helps Damon not, and kind of
It's
helps
going to be a
him.
free pit stop. He won't lose as many positions, but
Yeah, but he'll still lose positions because the pack won't be closed up behind the safety car, as Damon is just not going.
did he fall asleep or?
Not really sure. He's just kind of stuck here in the pit lane.
Huh.
Maybe we have some lag problems. I've seen something before like this. It wasn't on this game. It was on F1 2020. But he just lagged to the point where he got, or someone lagged to the point where they got stuck in the pit lane, and they're, oh, wait, what the hell?
I guess he's
There's
out of the
Damon.
pits. It was just us.
And yeah, I guess it was just us because my leaderboard was messing around and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Damon onto a set of hards, not closed up behind the pack as everybody, so he'll have to. I'm not sure what's going on with Damon and overtaking people under safety car conditions. But anyways, yeah, let's watch T-Brum. So Damon making an interesting call, deciding to pit when he did. He's not going to be anywhere near T-Brum, but let's see where these guys come out. I'd imagine everybody's going to be into the pit lane, except for Evil Dragon, who thinks he can get his tires to the end. He's going to take track position. He's going to take P1. But T-Brum is going to be right behind him on 7-lap pressure hard tires. T-Brum gets dropped from his jacks, and he'll be just out in front of the, just out in the pit lane in front of Esteban and Connor O'Keefe. Connor O'Keefe onto hards, Esteban onto a set of medium tires, which they should make the end. Not necessarily comfortably, but they should make the end. Same for Jordan. Harry Noir as well. T-Brum is going to come out just behind Jamie Metz, who's going to have 5 cars to clear if he wants to get up to the front of the pack with a 8-lap tire advantage. And I think that should, for someone of T-Brum's pace, shouldn't be too difficult. And Damon coming out just behind Esteban, so possibly losing a little bit of time as well. Not really sure what happened there in the pit lane, but he's P7 now.
I guess in the end it kind of worked out. I think it might have just been a issue on our end with maybe Damon getting a little desync with the over the ocean connection between us 2 Americans and the rest of Europe. So, but at least nothing's glitched out here, and we can get these drivers packed up behind the safety car. Energetics, the last one out of the pits, who has gone on 7-lap-old hards, unfortunately. But I don't think he really had much of a choice.
Yeah, exactly. In these type of situations, when you don't have a sprint race, you only have 1 set of mediums. You only have 1 set of hards, and most likely, unless you're Ibo or Ake McGuire, you're gonna have to choose between either that hard or medium to start on. So if there's safety cars, your strategy can really get royally messed up. We'll say. We're not gonna say the other word because this is made for kids, but yeah.
You already said hella.
We're family friendly here at League of Hero.
Yeah, we try to.
Yeah, we try to. But yeah, family friendly, you know. But yeah, your strategy can get royally messed up if a safety car comes out 1 lap or a few laps too early, a few laps too late. If you make your pit stop already and then a safety car comes out, then you're screwed basically. So yeah, you kind of just have to be lucky with your safety car. With your safety car and pit stop timings. And that's what's going to get you up to the front of this race, because as of right now, or in this situation right now, Evil Dragon, Jordan JT, Harry Noir, Jamie Met, I could have not predicted any of them would be leading this race right now. I would say T-Brum wins or takes the race win, leads almost every lap besides the ones in the pit window, and just walks away with this race. But with these two safety cars now, he's done in 5th. He obviously has fresher tires, 8 laps approximately, but now we get a little bit of action and see what he can do in a train.
You'll have to see what happens here. I'm interested in seeing how fast T-Rim can clear the 4 drivers ahead and get back to the lead of the race. Energetics just coming through the left field section now, so we should be going back to racing on this lap. Lap 14 going on to lap 15. The drivers will get their last minute tire warm-ups in.
Alright, now this is unbelievable. Energetics is deliberately going slow to make the safety car go one more lap. I'm not sure why he's doing this, because he wants as many laps as possible to make it his way through the orders. Safety car will be in anyways, because he's getting way too close for his own good. Or it won't. Either way. Anyways, I've had safety cars come in at that time before. Anyways, we'll be in on this next lap now. So, if anything, that kind of helps Evil Dragon, Jordan, Harry Noir, Jamie. That's one last lap that they had to defend from T-Brum, but that's also one, and it's also one full lap less of tire wear. I mean, you're just weaving under the safety car. You can't put too much wear on. You can still put on a decent amount, depending on how hard you're trying to get that tire temperature, or the temperature into your tires. But you get that one free lap of not doing anything too high downforce or too high G. So, I think the hard tires for the guys in front, they're not going to be awful, but they aren't going to be great, and I think T-Brums are going to be a little bit better, as well as Esteban's mediums could play a big factor in this race as well, going to the end.
I think the remaining 10 laps of this race is going to be pretty entertaining. All the different strategies going on. Now I can't believe be using the old pit straight, because the safety car would have came in, we would have been back racing, and we would have been having a good time. I have a feeling Bird Mindlander might just want to lead a couple more laps than T-Brum has, so, you know, we'll leave that to him.
Yeah. It would be a pretty cool concept, though, to have the safety car down at the National Pit Straight, though. Because you start your races early, you can start the races, or what's it called, you can have your go line, or your overtaking line, the middle sector split, instead of the start-finish line the safety car will be in on this lap. Or you could just make it where the normal pit straight line is, and then you have your safety car, your normal safety car restart. That would be a pretty cool concept. Get it started a little bit faster, save that one half a lap, get an extra half a lap of racing. But I'm fine with this, how the system works right now, and of course most tracks don't have a secondary pit straight. I can only name 2, this one and Abu Dhabi, that instantly come to mind. However, we have a safety car restart on our hands. Evil Dragon is leading said restart, followed by Jordan, Harry Noir, and Jamie Met. And now they're following each other out of the Vale chicane and into Club Corner. Evil Dragon gets a decent restart. He leads by 9/10 of a second, but Harry Noir is going to be right onto the back of the Mercedes in front of him. Jamie Met having a decent gap, as well as T-Brum. Esteban didn't have the greatest of restarts. Even with his mediums, he's still falling back. He's still falling off the back of T-Brum in 6th position right now. Damon with his 3 seconds of penalties. He's looking to make a move on the Alfa Romeo front. He looks up the inside of turn 4 through the loop. He's all over the inside curve. That's not where you want to be. And Esteban's just going to keep the position for the time being. A little bit squirrely on the exit, though. And Damon's looking to make the move. T-Brum already up the inside of Jamie Met as they head into Brooklyn. Now Damon just alongside the rear wheel of Esteban. Yeah, of Esteban. And that's a massive send from the McLaren driver. It's going to get switched up these positions. Damon's going to be on the inside once again for Luffield, and he gets the move done. And now Connor O'Keefe and Saronji are looking to make their way past the Alfa Romeo, who's been dropping like a rock the entirety of this race. Esteban's going to keep his position for Cops, and Conor O'Keefe is going to have to look for a different place to make that overtake. Damon and Jamie Matt into Maggots and Beckett's. The McLaren able to make the move. Esteban looking to make his way past the Ferrari as well. Jamie Matt just dropping still. Side by side, Conor O'Keefe picks up a 3-second time penalty for cutting Beckett's there. And now Jamie Matt has lost 4 positions on this lap alone, and only a sector as well. Now Conor O'Keefe looking to the outside of Esteban. What is he going to be able to do? The inside line usually preferred here, and Esteban able to keep the position.
Yeah, just a horrible restart from Jamie Met. You got to think that maybe the hard tires weren't fired off, and Cervantes' tires are definitely fired off now as he spun around through the club corner and is going to drop all the way down to 14th. It's not like that was that many positions, but when you're at the restart, everyone's already packed up together, and he's just going to be left in no man's land. Marcy
and
picks
Damon.
up Damon goes around for the second time in a row in a race. McLaren has gone around. And I didn't have to say anything this time. He just did it on his own. So, at least that spin's not on me.
Yeah, just the mistakes that we were mentioning earlier in the stream that he has to take out, or that he has to work out, because he could be really high in this championship right now, but just those mistakes really hindering his progress right now. 3 DNFs to his name, 1 non-points finish, and then obviously that podium and a DNS. So, yeah, just looking out to the front. Evil Dragon still leading from Jordan JT. DRS will be enabled on the next lap, not this one. So Harry Noir doing the best of his ability right now, staying 3/10 behind Jordan JT. Gets no reward for it right now. So now T-Brum is going to be onto the back of these guys. So there's Williams up at the front, a Mercedes in second, T-Brum in fourth. So the 2 Mercedes looking very, very good in this race. However, there's a Red Bull splitting them for the time being, and they really need to get, they need to work together to get Harry Noir out of the way.
Yeah, I think T-Brum. Oh, and Jordan! And he's out. That's another safety car.
Yeah, well, that's going to make the end of this race interesting. Or something near it, because now, you pit from. I want to ask the question: do you pit for mediums or do you pit for softs? You could pit for softs. They aren't going to be great at the end, but they'll be a lot better than mediums or hards right at the beginning. So that is the question, ain't it?
I mean, we found out that the softs are about 8 to 10% of wear each lap. And if the puncture range is 75, you don't want to do more than 7 laps on them at least. And I believe Division 3's safety car was around this time. And none of the soft runners really made up any grounds, but I don't think the guys that pitted for softs had mediums to go to. I do believe that everyone here has gone on the mediums at least once, so the medium tires that they're pitting to would probably be some worn mediums. But we'll see what happens.
Yep, Evil Dragon's in, T-Brum is in, Harry Noir is in. Esteban decides to stay out. Obviously, 5-lap old medium, so I think that's not the worst decision in the world. Conor O'Keefe in. Jay Ying stays out on his fresh mediums. Jamie Matt H. McGuire in, obviously. Damon is going to be in. Same with Marcy, Jess, Saronje, Energetics, and Old School will stay out as well. So we'll see how this pans out. We're going to have a few people not usually at the front in this race, notably Esteban J. Hinks and Old School, as Damien picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding into the pit lane. But we're going to have Evil Dragon in, I'd say, the net lead of this race, but no one needs to make a pit stop now. So, currently, Old School is our net leader once everybody gets caught up to the safety car.
So T-Brum's made up a couple positions under the safety car.
Yeah, well, I mean, where was he? He was fifth on track, and he overtook uh, fourth, and then Jordan crashed, and Harry Ward was sixth. Made that overtake as well. So yeah, a decent day for T-Rum. Obviously coming from pole position, he's not even the highest soft runner anymore. That will go, or that honor will go to Evil Dragon right now. But I'd say probably anybody on a fresh soft right now is on the best strategy for the short term. For the first few laps, that is the best option as Damon picks up a 3-second penalty while under safety car. That is quite the talent, to be honest. But, yeah, I'm not sure if either Evil Dragon, T-Brum, Connor O'Keefe, Jamie Matt, H. McGuire, Marcy, Damon Surrender, or Jess can get anywhere near T-Brum once this restart gets going.
I think now the soft runners have to think about, and it was the thing that I was thinking when I pit for the softs, is because the wear is so heavy, do you push right away, get as many positions as you can? Because Damon's retired.
Is that in the pit lane?
Yeah, that was in the pit lane.
He did have quite a few penalties. Maybe lag, of course, as well. I believe he had either 6 or 9-second penalties, and then that 5-second penalty also not helping him too much. But that's one more retirement in the pit lane in this race. Now, if everybody were to finish this race, only one person would get points, and as of right now, that one person is Jess Gamer, being outside of the top 12. So, the League of Europe point system working its magic once again, keeping people in this race who are looking for points to possibly kickstart their season. I know someone who's trying to kickstart their season. That is Jay Hinks. Only 28 points to his name. No points in the last 3 races. He's looking for a decent result. Old School trying to prove his worth on some new equipment. He's only picked up 3 points, 2 of them being in last week's race. Evil Dragon, his first race of the championship, he's looking to make an impression on this division. And then, of course, our championship leader, who's leading by 20 points, T-Brum in P5, looking just to secure this championship until the end of the season. Because right now it's round 17. It's round 7 of 17. And there's still a long way to go in this season.
The gap's only 20 points, and with Energetics only scoring, I believe that would be 2 points for P11. T-Brum in 5th. That might be 10. Might be 11. Not too sure how the points changes up in the League of Europe points standings, but the safety car will be coming in this lap. The remaining 13 drivers all on the screen, weaving, trying to get any temperature in the tires. The soft runners shouldn't be weaving too much. Got to save those tires and get every ounce of performance and save it for this restart and the remaining, what is going to be 6 laps of racing here at Silverstone. Sebastian has gone, and Jay Hinch trying to follow along behind, but his tire's not fired off just yet, but it's a pretty big gap back to Old School. Evil Dragon already peeking up the inside of Old School, but he's just going to slide it behind. He's going to take the caution route here and try to make the move later in the lap. And it seems like everybody has held positions here. And Sebastian has lost, actually, the position to Jay Hinch. And Evil Dragon has gotten past Old School through the infield section. So Jay Hinch has taken the lead of this race, and T-Brum's around. Oh, man.
Oh, my. That's huge for the championship, because T-Brum being topped around, I think it was Harry Noir, one of Harry Noir or Connor O'Keefe heading into Brooklyn there, so he's going to be down to the back of the field. There's most likely won't be a safety car in the end of this race, but now we have people swapping positions in the midfield. Marcy, Jamie Met swapping. Harry Noir and H. McGuire. I think Harry Noir possibly picking up wing damage for contact. Not really sure. It could just be his medium tires not exactly doing what he wants them to do. Evil Dragon was able to make his way past Old School on that first lap. Connor O'Keefe looking to do the same now in towards Stowe. Let's see what the McLaren can do. Can he get a run in the Aston Martin? No, we cannot for the time being. The McLaren driver will have to stay behind the Williams of Evil Dragon, having to work his way through the circuit behind Esteban and J. Hings for the time being. But as of right now, he's in that lead because of J. Hings and Esteban's penalties being 3 seconds each. Penalties for other drivers. Connor O'Keefe has 3 seconds. Marcy has 6. Connor O'Keefe looking to the inside of Abby on Old School. The McLaren and the Aston Martin going side by side, both powered by Mercedes engines. But Connor O'Keefe comes out on top in this battle right now. I think those soft tires are just doing what they needed to do. As Marcy's gone wide at turn 1, he's off the track and he's down to P11. That'll be Energetics and Saronje up into 9th and 10th. And now we have a battle for P3. And I'd say a possible win on track, but Evil Dragon has this almost secured with the penalties and how they play out. He just needs to keep it on track and keep it within 3 seconds of all the guys around him.
I think Evil Dragon, I mean, the guy's ahead of penalties, so the one part must be thinking, oh, I'll just sit behind and wait. But the thing is that Connor O'Keefe is right behind him and right on his tail, trying to snatch that win, because if Connor O'Keefe can get ahead of these 3 guys and pull away that 3-second gap that he has, he can come away with the race win. So I think Evil Dragon has to be aggressive, or has to be as aggressive as he can here. H. McGuire picks up a 3-second time penalty back there through Maggots. DRS not available just yet, as Sarante and Jamie Met down into Stowe. Sarante takes ahead the position. Marcy is just going to pull to the side and let everybody go. And that brings T-Brum back up into the points. It is only a single point, but it is points. And it lessens the blow that this championship leader is going to take here in Silverstone. As Energetics down the inside, Jamie Met through the final corner. Marcy has retired in the pits. Now all these guys got to do is just finish the race, and they will score points.
Yeah, as of right now, T-Brum picking up only 1 point for his troubles in this race, been absolutely dominant on pace. As now Connor O'Keefe looking to the inside of Evil Dragon. This is for position on track, but not net position because of how the penalties work. Evil Dragon, ooh, Connor O'Keefe getting really deep there, but Evil Dragon able to keep the momentum around the outside. Now on the inside for Luffield, the Williams is going to stay ahead for the time being, and he's playing this to absolute perfection. But as of right now, CPI T-Brum around the outside of Luffield on Jess Gamer, and he's going to make that move 6. So he's making his way back up the field, but he doesn't have long to get these positions back. 3.5 laps longer for the Mercedes driver. He's out of ERS completely though. Is he going to be able to pull DRS on Jamie Matt? I'm not quite sure if he's going to be able to pull out that type of feat, as Jamie Matt is lagging. And then you have Energetics at P9, Saronje P8, Harry Noir in P7, who's following H. McGuire, who is following Old School. No DRS, DRS now for these guys on this lap. Evil Dragon and Connor O'Keefe going side by side once again. Connor O'Keefe sends it up to the inside, unable to get the move done. Looks to the inside of Vale, but unable to send one too far back is the McLaren driver. Now getting the run off of Club, looking for a move on Evil Dragon, uses the ERS, goes to the right, fakes to the left, and around the outside of Abby, down 1 gear. He's able to keep it around the outside, and Evil Dragon's off into the gravel. And that is a chance at a race win surely gone and thrown into the bin for Evil Dragon there. He's only going to pick up 1 point in this race at the very least. But that could have been a race. That was a race win in his hands. And he's throwing it away, going side by side with a needless squabble with someone who had time penalties. And now Connor O'Keefe looking to pick up points on the championship leader of T-Brum. If it finishes like this, if he can get in front of Jay Hings, I think he's going to pick up what? He's going to pick up 22 points and only put himself 8 points behind T-Brum.
Yeah, the thing is now is that Connor's racing these guys for the race win. Old School has held off McGuire, Sarante, and Harry Noir. 2.5 seconds is the gap between them and Sebastian, and then it's another about 0.3 of a second to the guys in 3rd and 2nd place. Connor O'Keefe down the hanger straight. Jay Hinge can't defend. He's got no DRS. Connor O'Keefe tries to go around the outside through Stowe and takes the lead of the race as Jay Hinge gets a little bit loose. Sebastian now is going to try to look down the inside. There goes Sebastian in the Alfa Romeo on the AlphaTauri. The 2 Alphas go. That's big.
H. McGuire and Energetics making contact, I would assume, by the way that looks, and spearing off into the right-hand side wall off the exit of Stowe. So now only 10 drivers remain in this race. I believe that's 90%, so Energetics and McGuire could pick up points. I'm not entirely sure, but now Connor O'Keefe just has to drive. He has to drive for his life. He obviously has the 3-second gap pulled to old school Saronje in P4 or P5, but there might be another penalty on the cards for the McLaren driver. He just has to drive. His tires are so much better, but they're going to be fading away in these coming laps. Esteban and Jay Hings, their tires aren't much better either, but they're still dropping away for the time being. DRS has been dropped by Jay Hings and Esteban as well. Old school 2.3 seconds behind. Old school looking to pick up his first podium. He's in the top 5 for the first time this season as we head to the close of this race. He's in P4, hoping for a P3 right now. Saronje P5, sort of looking to deny that for him. Harry Noirg in P6 with his time penalty. He let his teammate go in front of him, and then his teammate proceeded to crash just a few corners later. Jamie Met in P7 picks up DRS off of Harry Noirg. I'm not entirely sure, but that is going to fend off... well, it says he has DRS, but he doesn't have DRS. I was going to say that's going to fend off T-Brum, but it's not, because T-Brum's looking up the inside and is going to have that move done. Nothing that Jamie can do, and T-Brum's up into 7th place. And yeah, that's going to be the only overtake as we're on to the final lap. Many drivers aren't close, and if they are close, they're in a DRS train. Connor O'Keefe on this final lap has driven sublimely here after that final safety car, made his way through the field, didn't make the mistake that Evil Dragon made. Evil Dragon didn't have to fight him, but he did, and now Connor O'Keefe is streaking away from the rest of the drivers. Esteban P2, Jay Hinks P3, trying to pick up the pace as much as possible. If he sneaked DRS from Esteban, that might have just saved him a podium chance, as Old School still pushing. He has ERS, but not enough, I don't think, as Saronje as well on the back of Old School. I think it's going to be Connor O'Keefe, Esteban, and Jay Hings on the final lap of this race, but you can never be quite sure.
Yeah, Old School's got to find, or he's just got to keep his 2/10 gap he has. It's 2.8 to Jay Hinge. It just goes a little bit wide, and so he's using everything he can get. Maybe he had an extra warning to play with to try and keep that 3-second gap, but Jay Hinge has got the DRS. Old School made up time, though. He got about 3/10, 2.5 now. How much will Jay Hinge make up on Sebastian and try to pull away on that gap? But at the front, Connor O'Keefe with the dominant late race moves to get in front of the medium runners that sit on the left safety car. Connor O'Keefe, 44, in the McLaren, wins Division 4's race here in Silverstone. Sebastian J. Hinge come across the line to P2 and P3, and Old School gets on the podium in P3. Sarante comes home P5, T-Rum P6, and we'll have to wait for the end results to go through the rest of the grid order. Connor O'Keefe walking away with the race win here in Silverstone.
Yeah, a very good performance there for Connor O'Keefe. He's picked up 3, now 4 podiums already in this season. 2 second places and a 3rd place. So that's really going to boost his championship bid. With T-Rum a little bit further down the order in P7, I do believe. So that's going to be 6 points, I want to say, to his name for T-Brum. Oh, no, P6. So it'll be 8 points for T-Brum plus fastest lap, so 9 points. So Connor O'Keefe doesn't gain a lot, but it's still better than nothing. Connor O'Keefe takes home race victory, followed by Esteban, and then Old School picking up a podium from P15 on the grid. It's going to be a pleasure to talk to him once we get him in for interviews. Hopefully, Jay Hinks P4 from P14, another good drive. Saronje P5 from P17, and then T-Brum down to 6th after that late race contact. And then Jamie Met P7, Jess P8, Harry Noirg in P9, and Evil Dragon in P10. And it does say that Energetics and H. McGuire both completed 90%, so they should get points, I believe, 11th and 12th. And then our non-finishers being Marcy, Damon, Jordan, Ibbo, Polypoles, and Serial Killer. And yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about that one. But yeah, Connor O'Keefe walks away with the victory, and I'm sure he'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, it does very good win. Just I'm messaging Connor right now because he doesn't like to do the speaking interviews,
Interviews.
so I've texted him 2 questions and he's gonna answer me right now. So we'll get those in. I've also get
Yeah, I'll get.
Staban and Old School. Oh, I can't wait to talk to Mark. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, I'd imagine. Old School
Legendary
3000.
moments.
Esteban. We'll get both of them into the party. And I need to plug in my controller. It's about to die. Go. Alrighty. Well, we'll just wait for them to get into the party, and I guess we can talk about next week. Next week we are heading to France, Circuit Paul Ricard. So that should be another good race. Usually we get some good action from the French Grand Prix on the game, of course, not necessarily in real life, even though we've had a few decent races there. However, we do have our drivers here in the party, and why don't we start off with Mark? So, Maverick, do you want to take us through it?
All right, I guess I can do this. I'm kind of nervous right now, you know. But Mark, Mr. Old School, first podium of the season. It's your first podium with your new equipment and your first real good results. How has that boosted your confidence to any level higher than what it was, knowing that you can be up towards the front with this equipment that it seems you've been struggling with so far?
100%, 100%. But first off, that's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible.
Oh
No, but
God.
that was. I mean, it really helps. There's no corners. Braking is pretty. I'm not very good at that, and I don't really. You don't have to do that at Silverstone. I'm really good at straights. Straights, I'm really good at, but corners and braking not so much. And this track has lots of straights, and neither of the other two. So that probably comes down to part of the result, if I'm honest.
Alrighty. One more question. How is the race today? Did you go into this race expecting to walk away with the podium, or were you just gonna race the race and see how it went?
No, no, of course I didn't. I was hoping to just get 1 or 2 points, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, big shout out to everyone who destroyed and messed up their miserable lives as per usual. It's normally how I get podiums, so big shout out.
And by the way, quickly interrupting, I want to thank you for staying out because if you didn't stay out, I would have probably been overtaken by all the soft runners, and
Hey,
you
put some
hold
respect
them
on my name.
all.
Put some respect on my name. I actually had some pace.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. You held them up, and you had some decent pace, and that's why I got a podium as well. So I massively
Uh,
appreciate it.
Absolutely, no. Well driven, my man. I don't think it was too much to do with you. You had good
Uh,
pace out there.
thank you, you too.
Alrighty. Ethan, any questions for Old School?
Well, I don't think we'll be expecting, well, Mark up at the front again. Not to be disrespectful to
Wait, do
League
you
of
know
Europe
what? How
legend,
many D4
but
podiums have you got?
well,
Ooh.
I never raced a D4, so.
That's not the point. 1-0.
But yeah, I guess just looking forward to France. But what would you be expecting from that? And have you touched the track yet? Obviously for preseason, but expecting anything
No,
different?
no, no. Yeah. I'm not gonna get a podium, but whatever. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. It's good. I'll take that.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. First podium, first good result. So, uh, yeah. We can go on to. We need to figure out how to say your name because I have no idea how to say your name. I just can kind of winging it, but yeah, our second place finisher,
Steban, you can say that's fine.
Steve Man. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
That
fine.
works.
Yes, perfectly. Oh,
Uh, Maverick, do you want to ask the questions or you want me
Uh,
or?
you can ask him.
All right. So I believe you came from I want to say P15 on the grid up
no,
to
I was P8.
you were
P8.
P8.
My teammate
All
was
right.
15th, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, still, either way, a good result. Able to
Yeah.
keep it on the
Oh.
track right at the end of the race, right when it mattered. You must have started on. the hards then if you were P8 or were
Correct. Yes, I
yeah,
was started on the hards. Someone,
yeah,
Jasper from Div 3 said start on softs and all that, but I believed in my own strategy, started on hard tires. Pace was quite decent, and then when the first safety car came out, I saw everyone pit, and I was like, it's way too early, you can't go till the end. I just stay out, and have clean air, and not try to overtake everyone and get damage potentially. And that really worked out.
yeah. That's what me or Maverick were kind of talking about with that very early safety car that came out. It was basically suicide if you decided to pit on that early
Hmm.
from the hard tires, which you didn't, and I think that was the right decision. But then going into that second safety car, uh, I think you pit for the mediums, and what was the thinking behind that? We're just hoping to go to the end because it was a little on the edge on whether you could go to the end or not.
Yeah, my goal was make it till the end. The tires were gonna make it till the end. My tires were about 40-50% with 5 laps to go, so they would have made it, but it was gonna be at the edge for sure. And I knew the last 2 laps would be a struggle, but I know if I didn't pit, then I would be overtaken by the rest and lose a free pit stop basically. So I think it was the right call pitting for mediums.
Yeah, I think that was the right call. I think you made, or your race was pretty sound strategy wise. But now looking towards France, any hoping for a good result, or what are you expecting for next
I
weekend?
mean, it can't go worse than my preseason race because preseason I qualified P2 and managed to be a lap down. So it can't go worse than that for sure. But I'm just happy with my first podium this year, honestly. Like 18, it's 20 points? Yeah, 20 points I got. And really getting some momentum going over the last couple of rounds. Last week didn't go quite as well because I had 5 hours of sleep. Just came home from Zandvoort, but the weeks before that, I got 10 points, 8 points. So I'm really getting some points together now and getting higher up in the standing. So I'm really satisfied with how I'm driving right now because beginning of the game, I always used to spin. I couldn't keep it on track, and now I'm more and more consistent. So I'm really happy with how it's going right now.
Yeah, this second place is definitely going to boost you in what is a pretty tight championship battle in the midfield of Division 4. So,
Totally.
once again, congratulations, and we'll see you
Thank you
next
very
week.
much.
Maverick, do we have a response from our race winner? Or
We do. So the first question I asked him was, I think what everybody uh, usually asked. I said, "How did the race go?" And he said, "Race went decent. Strat was a screw up with the safety car, but still made it work." Uh, and he says, "Sorry, T-Brum, for the contact." So obviously an apology there.
Ooh.
The second question I asked was, "First race win of the season. How does this one feel?" He said, "Feels amazing. Home Grand Prix, and obviously for the championship, um, puts me back in it. Hopefully, or he said, it puts me back in it. Hopefully, more to come." So there is the quote from a race winner, and
yeah, so
we'll wrap things up here.
So,
um,
hold on. So you're telling me there's a potential win on the cards if Connor gets a penalty?
yeah, just
Could
maybe,
be.
but
Hoo-hoo-hoo.
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see what the stewards say.
Hey,
Once we get to
who's
the
the steward?
reports.
Larkin or something? Hey,
I
Larkin, if you're
don't
watching
know.
this back or whoever it is, go on, go on, help a brother out. I've been in every race for about a year now, so go on, help a brother out, please.
I heard they take payments in DMs, but you didn't hear that from me,
Oh,
okay?
PayPal? What's your PayPal?
I don't know. I'm not the steward, so
He,
I can't exactly say.
You can help me out as well. Whatever. Not, just kidding. Just kidding.
think he needs a pen for trying to bribe everyone as well if Colin gets a pen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, well, at least we know where to look. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's gonna end it off. Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty decent week 7 here in League of Europe for Division 4, and we'll be heading to France for round 8 of the championship. Of course, see us at the normal time, 6:30 UK time, and then 8:10 uh, once for Divisions 2 and 4. And I believe it'll be me and Maverick back once again next week. And until then, we'll see you later.